Welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today, we're talking about reframing, changing the language you use to describe something. Hey, Janine.
Hey, Shannon, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, too.
Oh, good.
Can I tell you what I'm excited about?
I would love to know what you're excited about.
Tonight, it's Monday, September 16th. And tonight is the season finale of American Ninja Warrior.
So it's an exciting day and a sad day.
Oh, it's just exciting because really I couldn't do this year round. I couldn't be this excited year round.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. But it's they've already told us that somebody will win the $1 million tonight. So that's very exciting because it's season 11 and only once has anybody won.
Oh my gosh.
Season 7. So, so my dad and I are both very excited. Yes, can't wait to find out.
It should be, the pot should build. It should be like a lottery.
Yeah, that's right.
So
they did add a few, like they added I think it was 100,000 or maybe 200 last year for the person who went farthest. Even though he didn't finish. So,
yeah.
But that would be cool if the pot built. Yeah, they're getting their money's worth on this one. The show.
Right.
Yeah. So.
They get to advertise that it's $1 million pot and they never have to give it away.
Right. Exactly.
Until tonight.
That's right. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh, that is exciting. Kind of makes me want to watch it, although I can never really sort of organize myself around watching it.
It's on at 8 o'clock your time on NBC. You can do it. I can text you if you want.
Yeah, text me.
Because I will know the winner well before you do. Because it's on earlier here.
All right, so you probably have it on at 7.
Uh-huh. So,
boy.
By 7 p.m. your time, I will know who won.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I'll stop talking about that. Yeah, I really am excited.
I know you are. This excitement is not feigned. You are genuinely excited.
That's right. That would be a crazy thing to feign excitement about. It's not like I'm really proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. But anyway, so today we get to talk about reframing.
Yes. So as I mentioned in the intro, reframing is about changing the words that you use, or maybe not even changing the words, but changing what those words mean so that you have a different experience with something. We've talked about this on the podcast before when we were talking about evening routines, and I said I call it putting the house to bed. Well, part of my evening routine is putting the house to bed. Right,
which is such a cozy way to put it.
Yeah, and it just feels nice, and it sets me up to get ready to go to bed myself when I put the house to bed.
Right, you could call getting ready for bed, like whatever those things that you do. You could call that putting yourself to bed. I don't know.
Yeah. Tucking myself in.
That's right. Yeah. One thing I have been known to do that I read somewhere, a reframe, is instead of telling myself I have to do something, I'll tell myself I get to do something.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so that really does shift your perspective on it. And in fact, so many things that at least that I do in my life, I really am privileged to be able to do. So it's a nice way to think about it.
Right. Yeah, another one in that same realm that works is thinking that you're choosing to do something as opposed to have to do it. And you may be choosing to do it to get it done, or choosing to do it so it's not hanging over your head anymore, but you are choosing to do it. And that gives you a different feeling about it when you recognize that there is a choice involved there.
Right. It makes you feel more in control and doing something you want to do. Yeah, that's good. Do you find that you help your clients in reframing things? I can't imagine that you don't. I would imagine you do that all the time.
I do that all the time. And I often will help them. It's sort of interesting. There's sort of two ways that it comes up a lot. One is in how you talk to yourself or think about things for yourself, and one is when other people say things to you. And that's when sort of redefining what that means can be really useful. I think I've shared on the podcast before about a client that I had whose mother had a tendency to make critical comments about her appearance when she saw her. And, this made her feel bad, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and I said, so here's the thing. You're not going to get your mother to change. Like, she'd tried explaining to her that hurt her feelings, and she, tried ignoring it, and she tried all these different things. And that's just how her mom was going to be. And I said, so what if you understood that, the purpose of her doing that, the reason why she's doing it is because she loves you and she wants you to be safe. So, if it's a comment about your weight, she feels that if you weighed less, you would be healthier and live longer and things would be easier for you. If it's, a comment on what you're wearing, it's that she thinks maybe you won't fit in or something like that. But the bottom line is that whatever she's saying it because she wants the best for you and she loves you. And so we made this little mom to daughter decoder trick, which was regardless of what her mom said to her, she should hear it as, I love you and I want you to be okay.
Nice. And you probably helped her unconscious mind come up with that. I mean, to actually do that decoding for her.
Yes.
It wasn't just a outer thing, it was an inner thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So that's something that anyone can do. If you have someone in your life who you want to continue to have in your life and they say things to you that are frustrating or hurtful, consider why they, what's the positive intention of what they're saying, and how can you reframe that in your mind so that regardless of the words they choose, the meaning to you is that deeper positive intention.
Nice. That's great advice. I can think I'm not going to share it, but I can think of how I can implement that right away.
Yeah, I think we all probably have someone like that who makes comments that aren't necessarily helpful. And I think, I talk to a lot of clients who, especially when they're wanting to start businesses, become self-employed, and there are people in their life who want them to stay in a job and make that really well known, and just letting them understand, like, well, they're saying that because they want you to be safe or they want you to be okay, and in their world, you are okay by staying in a job. Mm-hmm. So, what's the phrase that you can use to translate that for yourself so that you hear that deeper sentiment?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be very helpful.
Yeah, and then the other kind of reframing is just renaming things. Sometimes things that make us anxious or that we get perfectionistic about is because we have all of this meaning attached to the words. And if you change the words, then that meaning changes for you too. And it allows you to sort of be with that thing in a different way. The example of the evening routine getting called putting the house to bed is a good one for that, because the evening routine, if you have perfectionistic tendencies, like, it's a routine. It needs to be done a specific way, in a routine way, and specific, it needs to happen a certain way. And when you change that language, not only does it feel nicer, but it frees you from that need for perfectionism. Because, putting the house to bed, like if you think about putting a kid to bed, there may be certain steps there, but it's also more flexible.
You don't have to do everything in the same order or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So, it strikes me that in terms of evening routines, as long as the end result is there, the house is ready for bed, it doesn't matter how you got there. And it can,
right.
that would make me feel more free if I were concerned about doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use this a lot with myself in terms of exercise. I hardly ever talk about exercising. I don't, exercise isn't on my list. I don't talk, that's just not a word I use. It doesn't feel fun to me. So I choose words that that inspire me or feel good, or whatever I need to get me out and do what I want to do. So right now I just think about moving my body. So on my list it just says move.
I was trying to guess what the phraseology was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I guessed, move my body. So you'll just put move. And
Yep.
If I put move on my list, I would think I was going to move house.
Right.
And not move my body. Yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, I think I'm confident I have many things like that on my task list that I can't think of right now while we're talking about it. But I like that. I know with my clients, I'll hear things like, I just can't do this. I can't organize, or I'm a disorganized person. And I'll say things like, well, let's reframe that. You haven't been able to do that, and let's talk about why. And we talk about the factors that have gotten in the way of their feeling organized. Of course, sometimes we talk about what organized is for them. But the negative talk that I hear so much, I almost always can try to turn around to a more positive way to think about it, and it usually makes the client more open to change or open to making a shift.
I think that's a really great point, and I think it's important that this isn't, just coming up with positive affirmations or, thinking positively. It's about looking at the situation, understanding what your deeper intention is, and finding the language that reflects that.
Yeah. And it's just something I feel like it's something we can do for ourselves. Once, that if we just, whenever we hear negative self-talk, didn't we have an episode on self-talk?
We did.
Yeah, and it strikes me that's an opportunity perhaps to explore what's behind that. And I have no recollection of what we said in our episode on self-talk, but I bet we said that.
I think it was probably like episode 3 or something like that.
I think it was.
It was pretty really early on.
Yeah. And we'll put a link to it in the show notes. We'll figure out when it was. And then reframe it into, I just thought of something like this last couple of weeks. In our family, Barry walks Bix in the evening and I walk him in the morning, which is great for me because I don't like, it's hotter in the evening and buggier. And Barry doesn't like getting up in the morning. But he was traveling and then he got an upper respiratory infection and he's still sick. Can you believe it?
Oh, no.
He's getting better, but I've had to walk Bix twice a day for all these days, and Bix is getting tired of it too, I think. But I was thinking, instead of saying to myself tonight, oh God, I have to walk Bix in the evening again, I really would like to shift to I get to walk Bix, because just think how sad I'd be if I didn't have Bix, right? I mean, it's like, it really is a privilege to walk Bix because he's a good boy. And I'm so glad he's in my life. And it's not Barry's fault that he can't do it.
Right. Right. And, and like, how great is it that you're in a position to be able to help your husband out?
And my dog. Yeah. You're right.
So,
yeah, at least we're not both sick.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, there's an element of looking for the silver lining when it's things like that you don't want to do. But we're not suggesting that you do something that doesn't feel true to you, because that's a problem in and of itself. And that's actually the problem that a lot of people have with affirmations, is that if you don't believe it, that causes problems. Like, your unconscious mind is like, well, that's not true. And here's all the reasons why it's not true. So it can backfire.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you're after with an affirmation.
Yeah. So it is important for you to come up with something that resonates for you. I was just thinking about when you were saying I get to walk Bix. I wrote a blog post. I can't remember it that well, but it was about running marathons, and I think it was my second marathon, and I remember having this like overwhelming feeling of joy that I get to do this. And I'll have to look for that blog post, but I remember that I think the blog post was called Getting to Joy, and that was like, I get to feel like this. Like, how lucky is that? And instead of thinking like, oh, I'm at mile 18 and I'm in a little bit of a euphoric state right now, and I still have 8 more miles to run, and it's probably going to suck a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's great. I want to read that blog post.
Yeah, we'll have to find that. But it's just helpful to think about, what feels onerous to you. If there's something that you're procrastinating on, changing what you call it can help. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, we were talking about social media recently, and one of the things that I did and I haven't done this in a while, and it probably would be good for me to bring this back, is instead of, saying, oh, I have to do social media, I thought about it as connecting.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, oh, it's time to connect, or I need to take 15 minutes to connect today.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and so that excellent. Totally.
Oh, yeah. It talks about the benefit, talks about why it's important to you.
Yeah.
And it takes away that I got to do this because that's what everyone says I have to do.
Right. Yeah.
That's excellent.
So, and in fact, speaking about procrastination, I talked about this a little bit at a talk I did last week, where a lot of people really get down on themselves about procrastinating, even though they always get stuff done. They just get it, they like come sliding in at the last minute with it. And if you happen to be a person that knows that you get things done and that's your process, and you don't feel like you're shortchanging yourself in any way, changing how you perceive that, like rather than thinking that you're a procrastinator, you can think about it in terms of I think we talked about this before, the concept of just-in-time production or just-in-time inventory, where a company will make things only as they're ordered and they don't maintain a big inventory. And so if you think of yourself as a just-in-time producer as opposed to a procrastinator, then you can enjoy the time leading up to when you work on it.
Rather than beating yourself up for not working on it.
Right. Think about when we were both doing freelance writing, because we always got the piece done.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, never.
What if we had enjoyed the time leading up to that, knowing that we were going to get it done and that we were just going to wait to do, it wasn't time to do it yet.
Right, because we spent so much time worrying about not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. I love that. And just-in-time production sounds much more efficient.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you're going to do it anyway and you get the work done, if that's the process, then, reframing it rather than really making yourself unhappy and also unproductive is much better.
Yeah. And you know what's sort of funny? Like, as I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm thinking about, what if I would have thought of myself as a just-in-time producer? There's a way in which that, I feel like that would free me up to get started sooner.
I was just thinking that.
Isn't that crazy?
So yes, because it would, I don't know, it's like, it makes you more agile and you think about the steps. It's funny, I'm having trouble articulating what I'm trying to say, so I should let you talk. But the way we used to do it, I always felt like my feet were in mud. Like I just wasn't getting it done.
Well, and I think part of that was around not trusting that we would get it done.
Oh.
And like worrying about it. But had we trusted ourselves that, that we will get it done, we're not going to miss a deadline. We never have. And I trust that I will get this done, then suddenly it seems so much easier to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting. I feel like maybe that's a bit of wisdom from our maturity, our many years. But when I think about, like, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about upcoming client appointments. If if it's a first appointment, for example, I don't prepare for it, and I know that I can just, I'll read the email again in the car, but I know my colleagues who have been doing business a lot less time than I have are, probably spend a lot of time thinking about it and worrying about it, and there's nothing to do, so they're probably not necessarily doing anything. But that's different, because that's not procrastination, but it is that trust that you mentioned. I know I can. I can just do it. And it's
and you are in fact reframing a thought there. There's the thought that, like, oh, I need to know more to be able to do this well, and you reframe it to, I trust that I will do what I need to do to prepare for this, and that I will be prepared when I arrive.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And it just,
I don't trusting yourself.
And when I say that, I feel like it just so much more opens up.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sitting with that. I think that's great. I hope other people find that as helpful as it feels to me.
And me, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this one's just for us, Janine.
Yeah, maybe.
We're just doing self-therapy as a podcast.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that could be a whole new way we could get so much done if we just have our own therapy every week.
But you know what? As I look back on how we've done this podcast, there was an element of that, and then there was a point at which we just trusted that we would be able to do it, because we remember, to start with, we felt like we really needed to prepare, and we needed to have examples and have different things we talked about. And
yeah, we had a whole template of things that we thought we would do, different segments and stuff like that.
Right.
Right. That we abandoned fairly quickly once we trusted that we didn't need it.
Right.
We used to try to pre-plan our topics. I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. I think when we finished recording one, we decided what we were going to do the next week. I think that was in hopes that we would think about it in between.
Right. Which didn't really happen, the thinking about it. So now we just have that conversation at the beginning. I mean, sometimes we know we're going to record next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, there's we trust that we can sit down and record a podcast episode that people will want to hear.
Yeah. And that feels really great to be able to say that and know that it's true.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that the thing to remember with reframing is to use it in situations where you're feeling bad about something, whether it's something that someone is saying, something you're saying to yourself, or a way that you're taking action or not taking action, as the case may be. And delve down into the deeper intention and think about different words you could use to mirror that more closely and to so it has a name that inspires you or helps you recognize the deeper intention under what's happening.
Yes.
Anything else to say about reframing?
No.
You sound like you have something else to say.
I don't. I know I do, but I believe that I sound that way. However, I don't really. I was actually trying to think of a way I could integrate American Ninja Warrior into this way I put it. That's what my mind, that what it sounded like I was thinking about something profound, that's what I was thinking about.
Well, you already said that you don't feel bad about your love for American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, no, I don't. People are surprised by my passion for it, but I am not.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about it, no.
Yeah. But you could imagine if someone did feel bad about their love for it, that you could come up with a phrase that would embrace what you love about it.
That's right. Right. Like they might say, I love watching the incredible athleticism, dedication, and sportsmanship every week.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I like to cheer on a challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely. And then, of course, there is the fact that many of the male contestants don't wear shirts. That has nothing to do with it, though.
Of course not. Well, on that note, we'd like to hear from you. Is there something in your life that you'd like to reframe and maybe you're stuck with it? You can leave us a message at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. You can leave a comment on the show notes or hit us up on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Getting to Good Enough, and on what's the other one? Twitter at GTG Enough. But for now, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. I was trying to come up with something that I was going to reframe, and I got nothing.
Oh, well.
Yeah, maybe next time.